The Mandalorian, Chapter 23, The Spies, or as I like to call it, Bad Baby, No Squeezy. I'm Candler. Brilliant dialogue. I'm Candler. With me is Brian, and this is Grab, the remote Mandasodes.
Warning, major spoilers.
Yes.
No. I think the show Mandalorian must always have three things: Grogu, Din Djarin, and a villain, a really good villain.
Gotta have a villain. That's why we like Moff Gideon, because you can have a villain, but it's got to be a good villain, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
Now, You always say your thing, and let me say my thing. I always kind of go off on some weird tangent. I won't do that. Candler and I never speak to each other. We've decided that we live in different parts of the world, and we only see each other on Mandalorian days, and we haven't discussed anything. Of course, we'll spoil some more. I have to say to you, Candler, that we are very nice to this show because, I guess last week's show was terrible, but we were so nice to it. It was a bad show.
Let me say this. I'm sorry to interrupt. We've been kind to the show this season, I think.
Okay, well, here's what this show is suffering from in a lot of ways: side quests. So last week was a weird side quest, bad acting, weird cameos, and again a Scooby-Doo ending. Weird, and then again, for to me to see this episode, and that sentence makes no sense, but I just said, because I said for to me, which doesn't make any sense. So for to me, yes. I would say this episode, it's like there's a redemption. There are things I like. There are obviously things we need to talk about. I like that it starts out looking a little like Blade Runner. You have a lot of Kane walking down the cityscape, and I'm like, well, that's Blade Runner. I like all the Blade Runners, all the director's cuts. There's 19 director's cuts. And then, of course, she goes to a probe droid, and we finally get what you had just said about a villain. Moff Gideon has returned.
Yes, and she did the thing that I love when people do in movies. They have the trench coat, and they go into a dark alley. But before they go into the dark alley, they do this. They look left and right and don't look suspicious at all, and then walk in there.
And you're talking about something we need to get going with is tropes, right? Just silly tropes. Like we talked about the secretary. You can't go in there. It's just the same kind of thing. But it is good to see Moff Gideon, because this season, and again, if you watch all the episodes again, because I don't remember what we say, but it seems to me that overall we like things for the most part. I'm all in, and I love Filoni and I love Favreau. But last week's episode really stunk. And it's almost like I needed to. Even this episode, I'm fresh off watching it. I really need to watch it twice. There's no time for that, because we're old farts and we can't watch things twice. We have to watch them once and then forget about them. But right, so. But listen, Moff Gideon's a great character, and I'm telling you, the end, we have to get to that, and we'll get to that. But in the meantime,
in the interim,
a feast. So the Mandalorians are going to meet for. Have you ever had a feast? Have you ever used that word in your life? Have you ever said feast in a sentence?
Yes, but it's never been let's feast. It's been the Thanksgiving feast. It's usually in conjunction with Thanksgiving.
Oh. I think I was probably trying to sound smart, and I said feast or famine or something like that.
Yeah, I have said that.
My wife says words that I will never say in a million years, and when she says them, I go, I've never said that word. I'll never think about that word. She says words like, "Oh, isn't that fragrant?" And I go, yes, it is, but I'll never say that word. That's not a word that I would use. Can you imagine me saying fragrant?
Did she call you fragrant? That's the question.
Of course not. I smell like a warthog. No way. Gosh.
Speaking of fragrant, I wonder how the droid from Empire, whatever you call that flying droid that we saw in the alleyways, do you think that has a distinct smell, a distinct fragrance?
Yes. First and foremost, I will quote Princess Leia. an Imperial probe droid.
Yes, man of the bang thing, man of
And
the bang thing.
those things are amazing. And
Yes.
I had one with the I guess the Hoth turret playset, and darn it if all those pieces didn't get lost to the time, the sadness of time. But that's a great. I love that. I mean, I love that. Here's what they're doing too. They bring back everything. If there's some good ideas, because I gotta say, J.J. Abrams and Ryan Johnson's trilogy stinks. I mean, it's terrible. But there are. I'm not saying there's not bad. There's some good ideas. And so what they do is they're taking good ideas from the prequels. You know, heck, the Din's N1, Starfighter, of course, is a Naboo ship. You've got the Praetorian Guards. Like they take the good ideas or the cool. There's some look. Despite what The Last Jedi looks like, I love those red Praetorian Guards.
Hey, me three. I could watch that for 3 hours. That was cool.
I got like Black Series. I didn't think about bringing. I like to bring out my toys. Hey, look at my toy.
Look at my toys. I'm Brian.
So yeah, and then
my fragrant toys.
If that droid, to your question, smelled, it would probably smell like a bicycle chain that fell in molten lava. I don't know, something. I
like that.
Okay.
I believe that. I believe that.
Good.
That's in universe.
So we have a feast with a Mando and friends. And even there's all these callbacks. We talk about how things just are always back to the original trilogy. But
wait, the feast. Let's go back. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I'll come back to this point in a moment. Go ahead.
No, I just forgive me. I just want to stay on this Moff Gideon, the first scene, and then the second scene when he goes in and meets the Shadow Council. That's
great. And again, like that's shades of, I guess, Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. There's always a meeting of the bad guys, but and again, we have this, and I think I should have watched it twice, but he says something like, we'll deal with our Mando friends soon enough, something like that. Well, that's Tarkin, right? Tarkin's like, we will deal with your rebel friends soon enough, right? Like they love the movies, and they're taking things and they're doing a little homage. What's in those tanks? What's in the tanks?
Yes.
What are those? Are those Supreme Leader Snoke's? I don't know.
Yes, perhaps. Yes. Who knows? But I thought it would have been really cool. Surely there is an Imperial character. I'm talking about a character from the original trilogy that survived the original trilogy. I realized most of them were on either Death Star or was choked to death by Darth Vader.
Yeah, they're on the Star Destroyer.
Yeah, it would have been cool if we would have had one, because that would have been, I think, somewhat easy for them to do a deep fake because they were in a hollow projection. I'm thinking maybe the two Imperial officers he talks to in the very first scene of A New Hope. She'll die before she gives you the plans or whatever. That would have been really cool if they could have somehow pulled that off, have them be one of the remnants.
Yeah, that very nice. I mean, again, we saw how they did with Tarkin and deepfakes and Leia and Rogue One.
Yeah, but a hollow projection would have been easy. Yeah. Would have been easier to pull off, I think.
Totally. I felt like, and we've talked about this, but if you would have had Tarkin in shadows and reflections,
yes, or a hollow projection,
it would have worked out. Yes. Now that we add that to the mix, is that Peter Cushing? Peter Cushing.
Yeah, Cushing, great. Also Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah, and also Dr. Hoof in the movie, and also again, Van Helsing, all the Hammer films. That guy rules. Watch anything on, look at him in an interview on YouTube. He seems like the sweetest, coolest dude. He had a wonderful relationship with Christopher Lee.
Oh yeah,
among other things. Those guys were classic gentlemen. I don't know.
Absolutely, no, they were absolutely.
So.
Go ahead.
No, I like that. We keep that in there. I like when there's like the awkward. Let's talk about toys for a second. We did, you just did I'm Brian and I like my toys.
Fragrant.
How do you feel about Grogu driving the new IG-12? Because all I can think of is, well, that's an action figure waiting to happen. That is a multi-pack waiting to happen. That's a black series waiting to happen.
Well, I got two words for you. As you know, I've been complaining about the whole bringing back IG-11. So when he walked out, I was like, oh, again. But then when I saw what's his name, little 2-inch dude, I forgot his name, driving, I'm
Well,
like, okay,
it's Babu Frick's
Babu
tribe.
Frick. Yeah,
Whoever Babu
exactly.
Frick was. Again,
But then I
somebody
was
else
like,
from
but we
right.
didn't need the whole setup with IG-11. This just could have been some other cool looking droid that comes out there that
Well,
Grogu is driving.
we're also missing what was special about IG-11, which is his character. I mean, I know that,
Yes, yes,
and so to me,
yes.
you have and some one of the if I have 20 scenes in Star Wars that I love, all out of everything that's ever been done.
Mm-hmm.
IG-11 on the speeder bike with Grogu
Yeah.
driving through killing stormtroopers is one of my favorite things. I've said that before, but like IG-11's rules. And so now we have IG-12, which is not IG-11, and now he's just a vehicle.
Right.
So he's an action figure.
He is, and which is great. Okay, cool. Let's buy the toy, but and hopefully it's fragrant. But and then I get to thinking. So what is Grief Karga's motivation behind this? I understand he wants to save his planet, but why does he even care if if Grogu wants to
I don't know.
ride? That makes no sense to me. Like why is he even having this discussion? He should be worried about his planet.
Look, I don't know, but I know finally you saw Grief Karga's bust in his office. I've been talking about
Yes,
it. You guys,
yes.
it almost tetered. Ding,
And I
ding.
thought of you. I thought of
Yeah,
you.
good. So I don't know. It's a good question. I just like Grief is now turned into a side character, and so that's all I can say is that he's supporting Din Djarin and the like, and there you have it. I will go. I will go. I will go. I will go. I will go.
Welcome, Mando. I have this liquor for you,
Oh
but
yeah.
don't tell anyone else. It's
Oh
all the
yeah.
way from Coruscant.
Yeah. Two gifts, right? Two gifts. Yeah, a sweet looking bottle of wine, by the way. I think it's amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
And of course, IG-12. Um, so so now you have, and a lot of, if you heard the scuttlebutt of, this is not really Din Djarin's show anymore. It's turned into Bo-Katan's show. You can hear some of this. I don't know if you know this. Some of the behind the scenes drama that can be believed or not, of course, is that Pedro Pascal was griping about not being able to take his helmet off, and that angered Favreau. So then Favreau was going to walk, and of course Kathleen Kennedy is terrible. And so she's meddling. And so all these things are going into what season 3 looks like. So again, I mean, am I drinking the Kool-Aid?
Maybe it's true. Maybe some of it's true. I just don't know.
Well, I just hate crybaby stuff. Like you're in an awesome show. Like any actor would say, like, let me do it. And so you get all this ego happening. You never know if it's true or not. But we understand too that Bo-Katan is our central figure at this point. Um, and we'll just have to see what that looks like. And it's too bad that we have a lot of filler episodes with these side quests. I feel like this season was side quest central and not much. Like right now, this episode, a ton happened, and there was some worrisome things that happened, and that's what it's all about. When you go like, oh no, this is not good. So obviously they go to Mandalore. They meet up with these other Mandalorians. That big ship, that big roller
Wind
pirate,
ship. That
the
was
wind.
cool.
Yeah, it looks like that's something out of like a Terry Gilliam film, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Like
Totally.
this big amazing. Of course, it gets eaten, right? And everybody has to fly off. So, and by the way, so I'm going to invoke another Rise of Skywalker uh, dum dum phrase in a few minutes, but
I
they
know what
fly
you're going to
off.
say.
Well, I don't know. You might.
I might.
We
I'll tell you if I predict it
might have talked
correctly.
about it. So now you have. Let's just get to it. There is a hidden base on Mandalore that Moff Gideon has made. They are using Beskar armor. They have Beskar armored stormtroopers with jetpacks. They fly now. They
Yeah,
fly.
I thought of that line. Was that
So
the line? Because I thought it was going to be another line.
that was the line. So
Okay, I was wrong. I was wrong.
okay, so let me just for context. In the Rise of Skywalker, you have these tank speeders that the stormtroopers are riding, and they shoot off, and there's people, and then stormtroopers are on jetpacks, and Poe turns to the gang, or I'm sorry, C-3PO goes, "Oh, they fly now," and then Poe says, "They fly now," and then Finn's like, "They fly now." They fly now, and it's like if you all you have to do is put in "They fly now" on YouTube, and you can get like a 30-minute. It's so stupid. That's what I'm telling you. Everybody flies. They've been flying for years. Idiotic line. They fly now. Yes, they fly now. I just went off on a street. I can see by your face that my side street was not fragrant to you, and I apologize.
What was I doing this? Like
No,
making a
you're
sneaky
kind
face?
of like waiting. You're like, yeah, okay, okay, okay. You keep talking about. Oh, yeah. Go ahead. So now it's your turn. They fly now. Rest in peace.
Well, now you make me feel bad. But
No, no, no,
what
no,
I was
don't
going to
feel bad.
say,
I feel
what I was,
bad.
what I was going to say is, I thought you were going to say the line, "The Emperor has somehow returned."
Oh yes, that's another. Poor,
That,
poor Finn. He has all the bad. I'm sorry, Poe. Poe has all. They both have. If Finn yelling Ray at the top of his lungs, he had to be. That was in his contract. Like you have to go Ray like as
yeah,
loud as you possibly can.
yeah.
Somehow the Emperor has returned. Oh boy, that's good writing. And that again, like look, these sets look good. The costumes, whatever they're doing, like seeing all these Mandalorians is totally amazing to me. And let's talk about it. I mean, how did you feel seeing Moff Gideon in his new suit, that black
Incredible.
Mandalorian helmet? Unbelievable.
It. I just wish it would have happened sooner. I think I meant to say this earlier. The first two scenes in this episode, the Coruscant scene and the scene with the shadows, I felt like that could have both of those scenes could have been the last scene of the previous episode that you love so much. Maybe even two episodes back, even maybe even split both of them up, just to kind of let us, just so we could have seen him. I really like the actor that was African American. He was played one of the Mandalorians that was on the Wind ship, that one of the survivors. Yeah. I've seen. I don't know what I've seen him in, but he's great. But I still think we should get back to Din Djarin and less Bo-Katan. I love Bo-Katan. I love her. I think she's awesome. But
well, now we have Din in changed. Din changed.
Yes.
Right? So we have our favorite Mandalorian captured, and then these. I'm telling you what. So it's Paz, right? So rest in peace.
Yes, he was great.
Huge Mando. His poor son too, right? He's my son. Like his son's really going to mourn him, but man, he died a hero.
Yeah.
I mean that guy is a total utter beast. Him kicking that one stormtrooper just off the platform was amazing. But then you have these darn Praetorian guards, which I think looking up Praetorian, I haven't in a while. Like that word even comes from
Rome.
Rome. Yes, yeah, I guess so. Yeah. But they looked really amazing, and you just know it's not going to end well, especially if they've got Beskar armor. I mean, if everybody has now Beskar armor, the playing field has been leveled, if that's the phrase.
Game changer.
A game. So,
game.
Yeah.
Speaking of game, the scene on the Wind ship where they're playing the Star Wars chest or whatever, and they get mad and they start to fight, and then Grogu in the IG-12 breaks it up. Did you think this was going to happen? Because I did. I thought he was going to start going, don't you ever come around here, just beat it. I thought they were going to start singing Beat It. Did you get that?
No, I didn't. But now that you say that, that's perfect.
But
that's
he totally pulls a Michael Jackson on that moment.
Right. You have to stop the fight. That's what Michael does. He stops the fight, and then he gets everybody to dance. If all the Mandos would have danced on the Wind ship, together, like do that particular dance.
Yeah.
Because IG-11 now 12 certainly has some moves. He can move all those parts around. Yeah, that's funny, Candler. I'm not laughing, but that's a pretty funny observation.
What I thought. Predictions for the next episode, the final one.
Pain.
Pain, pain.
Rocky 3. Um, I don't know. There is no, so you have this like love story thing that you keep talking about. I think
Uh,
fun
and
and
see, you're coming to my side, but he's like, I will follow you
I
anywhere.
don't care. That like I oh that okay. Now we'll say that. So he's like,
Yeah,
he's
I
ready.
was thinking, bam, chicka, pow, wow. I'm like, they are going to be a thing.
I just don't see it. I
I'm not even saying I want them to. I just feel like they're going to be. Or I don't even know if I'm against it or for it. I just think they're going to be.
well, I don't have any predictions yet. It'll come to me because I always forget that we're supposed to have predictions and I forget about it. But I will say that they made Moff Gideon even more rotten by talking about what actually happened on Mandalore. Like this whole thing of like the
Yeah.
promises made. So he has turned into just this. He's dastardly. Like when and if he does get it, I mean, it needs to be. I mean, it's going to be satisfying because he is great. He is a excellent villain, and I know I talk a lot about my toys, but like to have a because they do some. I always talk about this, but they do some amazing sculpts. They're so expensive. I don't. I have a friend who loves buying that kind of stuff, and I kind of live vicariously through like his awesome Japanese toys. But to see like a Moff Gideon in that full garb is totally it's just phenomenal. And then again, I think here's my prediction. We're setting ourselves up for a Bo versus Moff Gideon battle royale. I mean, that's going to be amazing too, especially if you have these Praetorian guards. And so there's so much now, and we also have a traitor. And I think that's the way to maybe end it is that there is someone within the Mandalorian faction that has to be a traitor. This pause was a little better than our other pause, and I like it.
Because I'm thinking,
Think
which
about it.
seldom happens. Yeah, I'm a little embarrassed I haven't thought of that, but yeah, there's got to be. You're right. I didn't even think of that, but yeah,
So I mean, again, maybe not a traitor, but someone set them up, right? Like it,
yeah,
they
yeah.
totally walked into a trap. It's a trap. So what is who's that? Is it? I don't know. The armorer? Is it?
Maybe it's great. Could it be Grief Karga?
That would be too bad because I like him so much, But he's had his dealings. He's been a
But I almost liked his character better in the first season when he was kind of a bad guy.
he's got
And I was just like, I'm the high magistrate. I have a bus to myself. I mean, I love him. We talk about him
yeah.
every episode. We love him.
Mando shot him, right? That first season, like he shot
That's
him.
right.
He had
Yeah,
he had a piece of metal, and he
yeah.
was saved by that.
I'm
Um,
very much alive.
uh, how do you really feel about Grogu being inside IG-12, like as a vehicle for
I
Grogu
wish it
to?
was another droid. I would have been fine if it was another droid, and I don't want it to be every episode. I like the egg thing better, but
Oh,
yeah, but
egg's
like
gone. Egg's gone. That's too bad. The egg actually moves more swiftly
yeah,
and with elegance.
yeah, yeah.
This clunky IG.
It wasn't worth all the IG-11 stuff. The payoff wasn't good enough for me. But if it had been just some other droid that we'd never heard of or seen before, and that
Did
that would
you
have been fine.
did you laugh when they were doing the yes 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 down the street? I mean, was that comedy to you? Was that good comedy or bad comedy to you?
It was comedy uh, when they were in Grief Karga's office, but once they got out, then it got slightly annoying.
I get it, and I even saying it over and over like I did was probably fairly annoying. I'm bummed that this is our last episode next week, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's too bad because it's obvious that we have another season. That means in the making. There's been so many announcements, and we probably need to end on that note, but maybe we can talk about it next week. All these new movies coming out that are Star Wars related. Some of them I'm fairly I kind of not. I mean, there's nothing I'm really excited about. That's my.
Well, I feel a lot of them like that's not going to happen because in
They
the
do that.
past, yeah, they'll announce something and won't. I don't think the Ray thing's going to happen. I've been wrong before, but I have a feeling that's not going to happen. Uh,
We'll see.
we'll
It's weird.
see.
Well, it's Kathleen Kennedy. We got to get her somehow. I mean, she just everybody's had a boss that's not a good boss, right? Like you've had somebody who's like, oh, they're not good, but they keep doing things and they keep making. And it's like, who's going to get rid of her? I know she's kind of. I don't like scapegoats either. I mean, everybody can point to like this is a scapegoat, but I do feel like the direction of Star Wars is not great based on what her guidance and leadership did. I mean, Disney has not done great with Star Wars. It's been spotty at best, right? And again, this season has been spotty. I know we're very sweet about it, and I'm all in, of course, but this has not been a solid season of Mandalorian. And
Looking at Brian, the first 2 seasons of Mandalorian, there really wasn't. I mean, there was 1 or 2 episodes that I kind of made fun of, but I loved every episode. I've watched them.
Yeah, they're so good. I mean, to me, if we weren't, didn't have an 80 and I love when I talk about how much we have to do. Let's just juggle and everything in life. It'd be fun to actually have a marathon, watch that from A to Zinc. That would be fun. So, but I enjoy talking to you. I don't know what you're doing with this. It's just us chatting, right? We're not really doing anything.
Yeah, no one's going to see this.
Okay, it's true. Good. I love that you're all in on Grogu. You got Grogu this, Grogu that. I bet there's a record. You probably have a record of Grogu on the record player.
Grogu. But in my house, we all say Baby Yoda. So
yeah, I quit. I put people in timeout for saying Baby Yoda.
Oh, really?
Go sit
Maybe
in
I should.
Chair. It's not Baby. Well, it's just at this point. I mean,
in universe, it's Grogu. Oh yeah, sure. I know.
He's a person. I'm a person, and I have a name. It's Anakin. What's that line? The little Jake Lloyd.
I'm a person, and my name is Anakin. Good stuff. I'm Candler. This is Brian, and you've been watching Grab the Remote Mandasos. Like, share, and subscribe. Bad baby. No, squeezy.